Hello, Mace here. Today we're going to be making a very famous French side dish that I like to eat as a main dish. Gratin Dauphinois. Of course, I can't say it properly, but potato gratin. Let's go. For this lovely recipe, we're going to use nutmeg, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/4 cup of butter, 1 3/4 cups of milk, and 1 3/4 cups of heavy cream, salt and pepper, and a kilogram of potatoes. These are garden grown potatoes. When you're making your own, try to get potatoes that are the same size. It makes things a heck of a lot easier. Now we're going to begin the process by peeling our potatoes. I looked around all over the kitchen and I couldn't find the peeler, so I'm going to have to go old school and use a knife. I don't know where it went. And I'm going to get a bowl that I'm going to put the potatoes in after I'm done peeling them. And peeling with a knife, it is a little bit tricky compared to using a peeler. The peeler was definitely one of the greatest inventions of the modern era, but it's not too bad. And I forgot to fill it with water, so there's some water in the bowl, and I'm just gonna take my time peeling them. Because I have the water, it's not gonna go brown in the time it takes me to peel the potatoes. So we have that on our side. Now when it comes to the selection of the potatoes, the ones I'm using are not the right kind. You want those nice yellow potatoes that are all big and kind of the same size. That way you can run them through your mandolin or your food processor to slice them, which is probably the best way to do this. But I'm going super old school, so I'm going to do everything by hand with the potatoes I had in the pantry, because somebody's got to eat them, and I guess I am somebody. So it is what it is, and I'm going to make the best of what I have. But when you're making this for yourself, make sure you get nice uniform potatoes and make good use of your mandolin if you don't want to slice them. Slicing them creates inconsistency, so you have some pieces thicker and some thinner. So when it's cooking, you have some that are overcooked and some that are undercooked, which to me adds a little bit of diversity to the flavor, but it makes it less uniform and therefore less perfect. But still delicious, and that's what I want. Moving forward, now we can do our garlic. So we're just gonna crush it with the side of the knife, mince it up, and then go over to the stove. Now at the stove, we're gonna get ourselves a nice saucepan out, set our heat to medium, and then we're gonna add in our liquids. So we're gonna add in our cream and our milk, as well as our garlic. Now we're just gonna let this heat up, which takes quite a while. We don't want to boil it, we just want to heat it all through. And once it gets up to temperature, you'll see a little bit of bubbles on it. And then we'll set it aside, and then we can start adding in our nutmeg as well as some salt and pepper. And in case you're wondering what that dish is to the left there, that's my experimental hot almond chocolate, which I've made a batch of it yesterday and it was quite delicious. I'm going to see if I can refine it a little bit more and be prepared for it in another video. And as far as nutmeg goes, I like a lot of it. Some people don't, so do it to your own taste. So you can add your nutmeg in, your salt and pepper, give it a quick stir, give it a taste, see what you think. If it needs more of either, add them, whatever. And then we can move on to our next step. So you gotta select a dish that has a bit of a lip on it, because we're gonna start stacking this up. I'm just gonna use this small cast iron pan. Probably could have used a little bit bigger of one. This was kind of small, and I think my next size up was a little bit too big, so it's probably about as good as I could get. So I have the towel down, have my sauce on top of the towel, and we're all ready to go. We got potatoes, we got a knife, we got sauce, we got a prepared pan. Everything is looking good, so it's time to start. We're going to begin by ladling down some sauce on the bottom of the pan and grabbing ourselves a potato and doing nice fine slices. Something you may want to do that I didn't was drain the potatoes and dry them off. That might make them a little bit better. I wanted to see what it was like doing them wet, and I didn't taste any difference whatsoever, so I guess being lazy is sometimes okay. And after we have our nice thin slices, we're going to start layering them into the bottom of the pan, kind of half of over top of each other. The same as if you were doing scalloped potatoes. Really, this whole process right here is pretty much the same as scalloped potatoes. So we do a layer, and then we put some sauce on, and then we do another layer. Then when we need more potatoes, we cut another potato. It's just a rinse and repeat type of process. Now, the better way to do this probably would be to take the potatoes, dry them off or whatever, then run them through either a mandolin or a food processor to slice them all so they're the exact same. But I'm using a lot of really small potatoes here, and they don't really work well going through those. So that's part of the reason why I decided to do it by hand. And now we're just gonna speed things up a little bit, but it's just a rinse and repeating process of layering down the potatoes, pouring down more of our fancy sauce, and it won't take very long till it's all done. And once you get to your final layer, ladle on a little bit more of the sauce so that it's almost like level with the potatoes, and then toss on some salt and pepper, and then throw her in the oven. We're going to keep it nice and low in the oven. I've got it preheated to 325 degrees, and that seems to be about the right temperature. We're just going to cook that for about an hour and a half. Of course, I got quite a few potatoes left over, so I need to do something with them. So I've cut all those up, and I've found some ramekins, and they say on the bottom that they are oven safe. So I'm just gonna make one of them inside of the ramekin. Now this makes a nice single serving, and it works really good because then you can have a nice meal and then have a ramekin on the side with a little bit of this fun stuff, and it's just a real good way to complete a meal, and a lot less cleanup that way by having it all pre-served and everything. Requires a lot less dexterity to serve. It's done cooking, take it out of the oven and use all your willpower to stop yourself from eating it, because it needs a little bit of time to kind of solidify. Then once that occurs, eat and enjoy. And it's quite delicious. Let me know in the comments below how you enjoy your potato gratin and how terrible my pronunciation was of the actual name. And if you like my content and would like to see more of it, please like and subscribe. And until next time, stay awesome.